Okay. Can you guys see this Arduino very soon? Can you all see this Arduino board?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I think it's better to show the image in the web. Okay. This is the Arduino Uno board. You have various types of boards like Nano and Mega. So I'll just say the pins of this. You can see the pins from 0 to 13, right? So these are the digital pins right over here, and these are the analog pins. So analog, you can see here this written as analog in. So we can only use these pins for taking input from the various sensors or some data from the serial monitor, etc. like that. So, and these digital pins can be used for both input and output. And these there is a special character in like the six. These pins are like a PWM pins. I'll say about them later. You can use these pins to control like servo motors, and like if you want to give a PWM signal to anything, you can use those. And also you can read the analog values from these PWM pins. And you can see it's written as TX and RX, right? So those are transmitter and receiver. So you can communicate with other devices using this two pins. And this is the main processor of the Arduino. And you can see this. This is the crystal oscillator, and you have some voltage regulators to convert 12 volts into 5 volts, which will power up the Arduino. And this is the port in which you load in the uh, code into this. And this is the powerhouse, means you can give 5 volts power directly into this. And that's it. You have a 5 volt pin, 3.3 volt, and yeah, you have a V in and ground, two pins. So whenever you're using a 3.7 volt or less than 5 volts for powering Arduino, make sure that you connect it to the 5 volt pin over here, because there is an voltage regulator between the V in and the power pin which powers the Arduino. So that voltage regulator, what it does, it converts the 12 volts into 5 volts. So if you give less than 5 volts to the V in, so it will not power the Arduino over here. So when you are using 3.7 volt LiPo battery, like right also, when for small projects, if you use LiPo batteries like 3.7 volts batteries, then you have to give the power to the 5 volts pin directly. And one more thing is, I'll show you in Tinker. Yeah. Wait a second. Can you guys see my screen now? Okay. So one more thing is, whenever you're powering the means the motors or something with the external voltage, then make sure that you're connecting the ground pin. It means you have to connect this ground pin to the ground of the battery. Make sure that it is done. Then only it works. It works properly. If not, it will not work. So do you understand that point? Guys, anyone speak, because it's very boring to just speak with
Yeah.
the plain screen, right? So make sure that this is an interactive section, okay? So I'm not a lecturer, just a student, so please, okay? And, and that's the basics, and anything else, that's it. Okay, I'll go with the programming part, with the basics of programming. So yeah, so Okay, the first main thing is we have two loops. One is like void setup and another one is void loop. We have to mention this both if we are filling this up or not. We have to compulsory mention these two. So the void loop runs forever and void setup runs one time. So we can define our pin modes over here. So this is the first instruction you have to learn. Pin mode. Pin mode, what it does is it sets up the pin, whether it sets up the both digital and the analog pins, like whether you are giving an input or whether you're taking the output. So you have to mention it over here, input or output. Um, so that's the mentioning the pin mode over here. You can, it's, this coding is same like C. You already learned it in the first sem. So you can define the inputs, means int variables over here. You can also mention it inside the loop. So that's the basics. Okay.
One question to everyone. Like this question was asked to me by my senior once. So, in how many ways can we power a Arduino? Anyone here who already knows this?
Like I know one, like we can power it from our computer only. Like there's a USB port, something like that, cable that we can connect to our computer and directly power it up.
That is one thing which you are seeing here, like this Type B cable, है ना? So
Yes,
this is
yes.
powering on the Arduino externally, and either ways you can use this jack also. That is the second way of powering it on. And thirdly,
adapter
you
से connect with it.
हाँ जस्ट वो क्या बोलते थे उसको जैक क्या बोलते थे मोहित उसको
Barrel jack.
हाँ बैरल जैक है ना तो we can power it using this also and we can directly put the into the 5 volt also. So these are the three ways in which we can. Okay.
Yeah. Now we'll go to the other set of instructions. Like, so you can see this 4 letters, right? Four words: digital, analog, write, and read. So these are the most important basic things you have to need. So you can pair this two at a time. Like if you want a digital output, you can write an as digital read, digital write. If you want an output, if you want to read a digital signal, then you can write digital read, analog write, and analog read. So these are the 4 instructions, like digital write, digital read, analog write, and analog read. So yeah, okay, that's it. And now we'll go into the serial communication part. How serial communication means you are communicating serially with the serial monitor present inside the, means if you go into the Arduino code, Arduino IDE over here, you can see a serial monitor in sketch, sorry, tools. You can see a serial monitor over here. So if you're communicating with a serial monitor, if you communicate with the serial monitor, you can use the, you can set up the serial, means, yeah, wait a second. Yeah, you can start with the serial dot begin, and 9600 is nothing but the baud rate, means how many bits are you transmitting with the, means how many bits are you communicating with the serial monitor and the Arduino. So 9600 bits per second. Means the transfer rate is 9600. So after writing serial begin, you can start with if serial dot available, means serial dot available. What does it returns a boolean value true or false, whether the Arduino is able to connect with the serial monitor or not. If it's able to connect, then I'm going into this loop. Just you can write your program and anything like that. So I'm using serial dot available. So this is serial dot begin, and you also have two other instructions like serial dot. Wait, I'll show in the code itself. Like serial dot print ln, print and the serial dot print ln. You also have serial dot read and serial dot write, those things. Serial dot print means it prints the message and gives a space and stops there. Serial dot print ln means it prints the thing and goes to the next line. So this is how it does. And you might also observe in the, yeah, you can also observe like here it is written like pin in small letters and M is in capital letter. This is camel casing generally used in Arduino coding. You can see it everywhere like digital, right? W is in capital letter. So camel casing is used everywhere. So that is the only difference from the C you can see, and that's it. Okay, now any other basics? I'll see. Yeah, you can. Okay, you also have another key like you can stop this program for a few seconds. Like you can write the. Yeah. So what does this does is delay. It delays for 1000 microseconds, means 1 second. So it delays the program over here. It stops for 1 second and goes to the next instruction. So you can use this key for delaying the program. That's it. If you see any other instructions, I don't know. And the for loop, while loop, just like C, you can also use the switch in this. I'll show an example for switch. This. That's not that thing. I'll show it. Yeah. Okay, so you can also use switch strings. Everything is similar to C. I hope you all know that. Means you know already C. You can use that in here. And other thing is, yeah, that's it now. If you have any doubts regarding the programming part, you can ask me now. I'll after this I'll go to the sensors. I'll discuss each and every sensor step by, one after the other. So if you have any doubts, ask me.
Yes, I want to what we have to write in loop and setup one. Like there are two parts now
Yeah, void
in
loop
the
and void
code.
setup.
Yeah,
Okay,
void loop
in
and void setups.
see in void setup, this part runs only one time, and void loop runs forever. Means it means all these instructions are done, and again it'll start from the beginning. So it runs forever. So in void setup, we basically define the pins over here. You can also define here, but you only need one time to these instructions to be run. So you define the all pins, and if you want to begin the serial communication, you can do it over here. So void setup is used for like defining the pins and other things. Like if you want you can also write you define different variables over here. So like that. And in the loop, if you
So
have
it's
to,
like saying that I don't know that we are using these pins. So it's like initializing all the pins.
yeah, we are initializing them. Any other doubts, Means?
Yes, and where can we get this all these functions that you use, like delay function and all? Is there any PDF that includes all of that?
Yeah. Wait a second. Arduino reference or no? Wait a second. I remember. Arduino reference. Yeah, I forgot to mention that. Thanks for remembering. So you can go to Arduino reference. You find all the instructions over here like digital write, digital read, pin mode, yeah, analog read, analog write. You can get all the instructions. You can if you want to check it out how it works, you can go here and so you can see this how it works. They will also give an example code for this. You can just understand by saying looking into this. It's very useful. I'll give the link for this. You can go to this link and you can see all the instructions how to use it. It's very useful for you guys. So, any other doubts? Hello guys.
Arey Mohit,
Huh?
you guys are, all the students, I don't know, they have the Arduino ID also or not. So Arduino ID may also we have examples also, although they are like a bit.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, there are example libraries, I remember.
Uh,
Examples. Yeah, in this
al-
file you can find examples like blinking of a light, sensors, means.
although they seem thoda out of,
Yeah.
like they are not updated regularly, I believe, but then you can take references also.
Okay, then should I start with Tinkercad? Means I'll show them the basics like how to blink a light. Should I
Uh,
start with that or I'll go for?
Yes,
Should
that
I go
will be
for?
better. Like I started today only, so I don't know much.
Okay, okay. And few guys know about this digital right and serial read all those things, right? You guys can leave for half an hour. Means those guys can stay who just started right now. Means because I'll be starting with the basics. You guys might be bored right now. So is that okay, or you will stay and listen from the basics?
you continue, I'll see to it.
Okay, should I continue? Okay,
Bhakti. I'll check in the chat box and
okay, okay. So with blink. Okay, these are the LEDs. Okay. I'll not say how. I mean, I'll not say. Means you can check out the Tinkercad. You can go from YouTube and you can learn how to put these LEDs over here. I'll just say the code over here, how it works. Okay, now see how the okay. Does everyone know how the breadboard works, or should I explain that also? If anyone don't know, just say it now.
I don't know.
Okay. So how a breadboard works? You can see here. Uh, if I just hover on this, you can see all the green dots connected to each other. So from here to here, all the lines are connected. So if you connect a negative pin over here from the ground, you can access that negative pin from anywhere from this on this line. And this is the positive line you can access. And you can see these pins are connected like this vertically, all these pins. So you can connect a pin like this. Wait. You can connect any pin to this and you can access this wire anywhere from these 5 points. Okay, that's it basically. How did you got it? The one guy who said it, you know.
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay, so yeah, so this is the cathode and this is the anode. I'm connecting the cathode to the negative pin of the Arduino's ground, and the anode part I'm connecting it to 10, 9 and 8 pins over here. So after connecting to the pins over here, I'll start with the basics. Okay, you're setting the pin over it, right? So I'm writing pin mode. I'm defining the 8 pin over here. I'm putting output. Why output? Because I'm giving the signal to the LED to glow, right? If I put this output as high, then the LED will glow. If I put this as low, then LED will get off. Okay. So after that, digital write means we are giving a digital input to this pin. We can also give analog inputs only for the PWM pins. You can see here, right? These pins 10, 11, 9, 6, 5. Those pins are PWM pins. You can give an analog input for that, so that you can also control the brightness of the LED. I'll show it in the next one. How to use a potentiometer. Yeah. Okay, so you have mentioned the pins as output over here. After that, we are using digital write 10 comma high. High means it will give a 5 volt or 4.45, just like that. So it will give a 5 volt output high over here. You can also write 1 for high and 0 for low. Just so you're giving an high to 10 pin, and I said your delay, right? It's delayed by 6 seconds over here because 6,000 you have written. So 6,000 milliseconds, 6 seconds. Then digital write 10 low and digital write 9 high. Okay, I'll start simulating this code. You can see this. It glowed for 6 seconds and it should get off after 6. Then this will glow for 2 seconds. Then this is glowing for 3 seconds. So did you got this code or should I explain again? Hello.
Got it.
Okay. So this is clear, right? Setting the pins over here, delaying the code by how many milliseconds like that? Okay, microseconds, sorry. That's it. Now I'll go for how do you write the analog. How to use analog read? I'll just show it to you. Analog read. Should I have a potentiometer? Yeah, this one. Okay. Where it is. Okay. Okay. So this is an RGB light. You can RGB light are used in like LED displays so that you can get a colored image over here. Okay, I'll show this. This one is red, and this one is blue. This one is green. Okay, and the terminal. This one is the common ground for these three links. I'm giving the common ground over here. Okay, then terminal one. Okay. Okay, this terminal one goes to the ground. So this is ground and this is the output and this is the VCC. This is a potentiometer, you know, right? Okay. So this one is given to the ground and this one I gave it to the VCC and this one to the output. I can control the brightness of this LED using this potentiometer. I will show with, wait, I'll show the code. Okay. So we are starting with serial.begin 9600. As I said, 9600 is a baud rate. How many bits you are transferring per second. This is the baud rate, and you can see pin mode. This is the analog pins. You can define as A0, A1, A2 like that. So analog pins are used for only input. So input you can write all in capital letters, and I'm defining pin 9 as output. As you can see, I selected all the 3 pins as PWM pins because I have to control the brightness of the LED. Okay, you can, okay, go step by step. Okay, okay. By turning this knob over here, I can change this output. This is the data pin, means I'm sending some data into this analog pin. So I'm collecting that value into value 1 analog. So for reading the data from the pins, like from reading from the analog pins, if you want to read the data, you use analog read, as I said before. So analog read A0, A1, A2, I'm getting the values into value 1, value 2, value 3. And yeah, map function, I think see me map nahi hai. Okay, map function, what it does is it calibrates, means like from 0 it will go to 0, means 1023 it will set as 255. So the values between these will be transferred into this, like you are converting the highest value into 255, the lowest value into 0. Then analog read, analog write. Okay, so I'm giving the output over here. So I'm writing an analog write is it gives the output to the pins. So you can also write digital write, but I have to control this LED, so I'm writing analog write. 9 comma value, you can, the value right over here you can specify from 0 to 255 because it's an 8-bit processor. You can only use the maximum value up to 255. So you can write the values between that, so that accordingly this will set the brightness of this. The volt, if you write 255 it will give 5 volts. If you write like 150 it will give like 2 volts. If you write so accordingly it will give the voltage, it will decrease the voltage based on the value you write here. then serial print value. That's it. Okay, I'll simulate so that you can understand. Serial monitor. So you can write see here. This is set to 25 now. If I increase the voltage, see the LED blasted. If I decrease this potentiometer, you can see that the brightness is decreasing. So yeah, using the PWM pins, you can give an analog output. So did you guys understand the analog read and analog write?
What's PWM?
Okay, I'll say about that.
You guys understood how the connections are made, like how he's connecting all the potentiometers positive to the uh, 5 volt, and how he's connecting the negative to the ground. That you guys are able to understand? The breadboard, upper part,
Yeah.
lower part, middle part. Na?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll say about the PWM pins. Yeah, I think I have the diagram in the. Yeah, this is the PWM signal. Like you are putting high for 1 millisecond and low for 20 milliseconds. So, and if you keep a high for 0.5 milliseconds and 20 milliseconds, the signal will vary. So you can create different types of signals based on the digital signal only. So, like putting high and low, you can vary the width of this. So these types of signals are called PWM signals. Okay.
Yeah.
Any doubts in analog writing and reading?
That scaling, that map function, normally the analog in Arduino would be from 0 to 103. We are mapping that to 0 to 255 so that it turns
Yeah,
into
so that
RGB colors, right?
yeah, because you can the maximum value that you can write here is 255. If you write 256, it will again go to 0 because it is an 8-bit processor, right? 2 power 8. You can only process 2 power 8 bits. Like you can only write the maximum number of 255 over here. Okay.
Okay.
Anything else? Should I move to the next one, or do you guys have any doubts? Okay. Hello.
Yeah, we have no doubts.
Okay. The next one. So next I'll go with this. Wait, before going to the sensors, I'll see anything else I can. Mohit bhai, should I start with the sensors now? I think the basics are covered mostly.
Start with the sensors. Basically, you guys don't worry about PWM much. Even in my third year, I'm not clear with it. So you guys are in your first year. So no big deal that is. Na?
Okay, I'll start with the sensors now. Right, I'll start with the basic sensor, IR sensor. How many of you guys know about IR sensors? Anyone?
Yeah, I have used previously.
Can you explain it how it works?
Uh, the the white part is the transmitter, I guess. It transmits IR, and the black receives the IR. And when it bounces from a surface, it receives the black is the receiver. It receives the transmit and it sends the signal. If it receives the signal like 1, otherwise it would be receiving 0. It would be
Yeah.
giving the value 0.
Yeah, right. Okay, so as you said, this white thing over here, it transmits the IR rays and it bounces from a surface and get into the receiver over here. But one thing is, see, if the object is of black color, what it does is black color or it absorbs the rays. Means it will not bounce the rays. Light will not reflect back, but the black color it absorbs the rays and it will not go into the receiver. So you can use this property for line follower robot. How many of you guys know about line follower robot?
Yeah, about better.
Yeah, so you can use that property like if it's a black line, the ray will not reflect back and the signal is not received over here. But if it's a white line, then the signal is received. So you can uh, see the signal difference. Like if it's one, then you can say it's a white. If it's zero, then you can say it's a black. So you can use that property for line following a line, which is very useful. Like okay, I'll show a demo right now. Wait a second. I'll show the code for this before that. Okay. So pin mode, I'm setting it A naught as input and I'm serial dot begin 9600 as usual. Then value is I'm reading the value from the analog pin, like analog read A naught. Then serial dot println value. Okay. I'll run this code. I'll show a demo right now. How it
What
works.
value does it give?
Yeah, I'll show that. Okay. The range varies from like 1000 to 0. I'll show in a graph means you can visualize it. If I have the code, I'll show you. I should write the code again from not this, not this, not this. Oh, I have to write the code again, I think. This one's shit, yeah. Okay, I'll write the code. Okay, you guys try to write the code. Means, did you guys understand this part? Hello.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. So you guys can open the Tinkercad account right now. Mohit bhai,
हाँ
can you guide them through the Tinkercad account? Means how to open it. Till then, I'll write the code for all the 6 IR sensors and I'll show them the how.
you do this thing. You your screen is already presented ना.
Yeah.
Do it. देख अभी जैसे screen presented है अभी करते चल.
Okay, I'll write
They'll
the
also
code.
see. हाँ हाँ हाँ. In the meanwhile, they can open the Tinkercad account है ना.
Okay. If
And
they have any doubts in Tinkercad, can you please?
हाँ हाँ.
Okay. Oh shit! I don't have the jump application. Okay, guys, I'll start with the demo, like how the IR sensor works.
In the meanwhile, you all made your account on Tinkercad or any difficulty you are facing? Nobody's answering.
I made it.
Okay.
Okay, guys, I'll see. I
Made
don't have
account.
those many jumper cables with me. I have only 3 cables, so I'll show how one thing works. I can't show the whole array how it works. Let's see. So you have the board settings over here. You have to set it to Uno if you are using Uno, and you have to set it to Arduino Nano if you are using Nano. I'm using a Uno board over here. So I'll select the Uno board, and you have to also select the port over here, which port it is attached to. And yeah. Okay. So I'll show you the serial. So these are serial monitor and serial plotter. Serial plotter gives you a 3D visualization, like it shows you the graph how it's going. I'll show you 3D plotter right now.
Mohit, you are using hardware for it.
Yeah, I'm using hardware.
तो कैमरा ऑन करके दिखा देना कि
हाँ,
यू आर यूजिंग दैट क्या बोलते हैं एलईडी स्ट्रिप ओ आईआर स्ट्रिप क्या
yeah, okay, okay. Wait a second. I have to connect it to the antenna. Serial is not available. Wait a second. Why is it not working? Okay. Where is it? Wait a second, guys. I'm getting a problem over here. Okay, I'll go with this. It should get the values in the serial plotter. Oh, now it's showing. Where is which pin I attach? S3, right? Okay. Is it unlocked? Wait, it's not clear. Okay, it's fluctuating a lot. Okay, I'll show you from the camera. So, can you guys see the array? See, you can see the purple color right over here. You can't see with your naked eye, but with the help of camera, it means this camera don't have an IR filter to it, so you can see the IR rays coming out of this, and it gets received into this. Can you see the purple light?
Yeah.
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 Yeah, you can't see it with your naked eye. Okay, now this one. So I'll show you the difference. Like, see now, if I keep a hand in front of this, you can see the values are varying. And if I remove the hand, you can see that it's fluctuating a lot. I don't know why it's happening like that. Wait, I'll write. Which board is that? Yeah. So you can also write a digital read over here. You get only a digital values, like one, like high and low. Okay, now you can see. Oh, sorry, no. This one is still on. See, you can see a 0 when I place my hand in front of this. You can see a 1, and you can see the same thing in the plotter, serial plotter. If I place my hand, see it goes to 1, and if I okay, I think it's not working properly. Okay, this is about IR sensor. I'll move to ultrasonic sensor right now. Is there any doubts regarding IR sensor? It's a simple one only, just 2 lines of code.
Usually you see a different, what do you say, IR sensor, but this is an IR sensor array. So it has five, I guess,
Yeah, 5.
IR sensors embedded in the same. You can try your own if you want, na? And replicate also the same in Tinkercad if you feel like.
Okay, I'll go to ultrasonic sensor right now. I don't have ultrasonic sensor to show the demo. I'll show it in Tinkercad itself. So yeah, this is ultrasonic sensor. You have 4 pins. One is a VCC, another is ground, and this is a trigger, and this is a echo pin. What trigger pin does is, if you set this high, then this will send sound waves from here. Means it will transmit the sound waves from this one, and the echo pin, it helps in receiving the means after sending the sound waves, if an object is there, then the sound wave reflect from the object and again comes to the receiver. So you take signals from the echo pin from here. I'll show you the code over here. You'll understand better. So yeah, so you can see the trigger pin is set as output because we are sending the signal to the trigger pin, and the echo pin is put as input because you are taking the data. This all is a simple 4-line code only, nothing much. Just some math is involved in this. So this is the long int. I'm defining 2 variables, distance and duration. After that, digital write trigger pin high. I'm setting this trigger pin as high. for 1 second. So for 1 second, I'm sending the sound waves from this one. Then digital write trigger pin low. I'm setting the trigger pin low just for 1 second. So I'm putting it as high. I'm waiting for 1 second, then low. Okay. Then you can calculate the duration. Like if you have an object over here, it bounces back. If time t takes, if you take time t from here, again it bounces back and comes after a time t. So you get a total duration, like how much time you go and how much time you come here. So you have to, after calculating the duration, Pulsin helps in calculating how much time it took from going and coming back. So for calculating the distance, this is the formula, like using the speed of sound, you can calculate this. Then you get the distance and you are printing the distance. This is a pretty simple code. You can run it and see. Let's start simulation. I click on this. See, you can change this one and you can see 125 is the distance and you can see it read 125. Like you can move anywhere you want, like 265.4, 264 nearly. So yeah, you can calculate the distance using this sensor. That's it. I'll show the PPT also if you want. So, see, the transmitter, it'll produce the sound waves, and if there an object, then it will bounce back and come to the receiver, and from the echo pin you will you will calculate the distance. That's it. This is also pretty easy sensor. This both sensor. So these are the two sensors that you are going to use in your projects, like in the future, if you want. Any doubts on this?
Uh, so the thing is, we have this thing called Tech Expo every year in Atmos. So this guy came in and he was participating in क्या बोलते हैं Tech Expo, and what he did was he just simply created a very good project, but then he had nothing to show like for the project. So what he did is he mounted this UV sensor, ultrasonic sensor, on a servo motor, and there is a, you can search how to make a radio detection का ऐसा sonar type of thing using ultrasonic sensor and a uh, servo motor. Uh, so using that he showed his whole क्या बोलते हैं project and हाँ radar basically that you can see on YouTube also, how to make a radar. So he simply made that and he got the third of like prize. He got some prize money for that. So if you can fool around, you can make anything very nice
Yeah,
or presentable.
see
So
something
this
like this.
uh,
See like this. See, it detects the object in front of it. So this is a like if you want to draw this on some monitor or such, you can use a processing. There is an idea called processing. You can create 3D designs in this part. I'm not going to teach the processing how to code in this. You can go and check it in YouTube. There are many tutorials how to do it. I'll also show and demo how on this part afterwards when we come to the what do you say, accelerometer sensor. Then I'll show you how it goes. Okay. So where were we?
also anyone here who can share the formula, like who understood the formula. How did he get 27.1? Any idea?
That is, I guess, like by the units, it should be 29.1 millisecond to travel 1 centimeter, right?
That is same as like how after how much that minimum how after how like the minimum distance after which the sound you can hear. Same concept.
The sound of sound, like like the echo wave.
What? हाँ एको वेव वाले कॉन्सेप्ट। सो पर तुम लोग देख लो कि हाउ एंड कैसे वो नीचे
You
आया।
can say how that you can calculate how that formula came up.
Basically a homework question kind of.
So the next one is Bluetooth module, and this one also is very easy to set up. This what does it? Does it you can connect it to your phone and you can control your projects like that. So you can after just connect. I'll show the connections how it's done. Thinker Bluetooth module. It's there. I'll show you. Just now Bluetooth module. Okay, I'll show the connections. So you have an VCC, one ground, and TX and RX pin. So in Arduino, I've said there are two pins like TX and RX, right? So the TX pin of this Bluetooth module is connected to the RX pin of the Arduino, and the RX pin is connected to the TX pin. So, and this is the ground and VCC. And one note, while you're installing the program into this, while you're putting the program into the Arduino, make sure that you remove both your TX and RX pins connected to the Arduino, because if you connect them to the Arduino, then the code will not get into the Arduino. Make that as a point. And yeah, this is a simple code only. Serial dot, just you are reading the values from the serial monitor. You have apps to control like Arduino. Like I'll show you the apps. Yeah, you have many apps in your app store like this. Like if you click a button over here, you will send a value like a character A, B, or C like that into the serial monitor. Then you'll read the character from the serial monitor, and accordingly you can use if statements. If you read from the serial monitor, if you read B, then do this instruction, or else do that. So it's a pretty easy code. You can see. Yeah, you can read the data like serial.read. You can store it in data. You can use the switch statement as well. If data is A, character A, you can run these set of instructions. If it's B, then you can run set of instructions that you can write here. So that's it about this. You can make cool projects in this Bluetooth module. Next, I'll start with the accelerometer. This is the important, very important one. You can okay, I'll start with how it works. Wait, okay, I'll start with a demo. Wait. I'll explain it first. So what does it? It is a 3-axis accelerometer. Like you can measure the static and dynamic forces. Like static forces mean like the gravitational force, and dynamic force the vibrations that occur in the background. Like if you shake the accelerometer, you can calculate how much pitch and roll it does. So like you have small resistors inside it. So if you tilt it forward, then the resistor gets compressed and you can get the data into the means from the HD and SCL pin. So this accelerometer runs on I2C communication. You can see the I2C communication. This is a serial data and this is the serial clock. You will send the clock from the master like the Arduino. You will send the clock into this from the Arduino. From the A5 you will send the clock, and from the A4 you will send the serial data into it. Don't worry if you don't understand this. Just look into the. I'll explain the code. It's very easy. Okay. So for using I2C communication, we include wire.h library. See, I'll go slow on this because it's very important to understand this. So you use wire.h library. Libraries are used for like you can access different functions from the libraries into this. They are predefined, like many people create libraries like this, and we can use it from the web itself. So I have included wire.h library over for I2C communications, and for every I2C communication, every means like every sensor has its own like ID like that. So for ADXL 345, this is known as ADXL 345. So for that, the ID is 0x53. Then I'm creating 3 float values. That's it. Then we'll go into the void setup. So as usual, we are using serial.begin 900, then wire.begin. So first we are beginning transmission from the ADXL 345. Then wire.write 0 to 2D. This is the means like this is the code for the register over here. You might ask what is a register? Like it's a memory storage unit. You will learn it in your second year as such afterwards. So don't concentrate on that much. Then you're writing wire.write 8. You can see from the data sheet of this, this register has like you have to set up the D3 pin to high to measure it. So wire.write 8, what does it does? It gives an 8. It means if you convert 8 into binary, this is the binary, right? So this pin gets high, so it will get into the measuring mode over here. Okay, after writing it, we are writing wire.end transmission and delay 10 seconds. And this part I'll say afterwards. Then you are getting into this. Into the void loop, we begin the transmission for ADXL again. Then wire.write 032. What is it? This is also registered for calculating the x-axis data. You can see from the data sheet. So yeah, this is 32 in hex. So 0x represents an hexadecimal number, and it is a 32, and we are representing like this. Then end transmission. Then we are requesting ADXL to read all other 6 data like y-axis data, z-axis data from this code. Then we are reading the x out wire.read. Like it comes as a 2's complement. Don't worry about this. You will learn it in second year. What is a 2's complement? All those. So using this, we are converting from 2's complement to the actual number. Then we are dividing it by 255. Like, okay, I have to show the data sheet. If you divide by 255, then plus or minus 2G error will come to you. If you want an error more like if you want to measure the dynamic forces, then you can divide it by other things. You can see in the data sheet. So this is a serial programming. I'll show the demo. I think you guys are confused a lot. Are you guys understanding this or?
About that two, why dividing by 256?
What?
That there was then you divided this. It was divided by 255, I guess, in the code.
Yeah. I'll show it in the data sheet. Wait a second. See, data sheet. Seeing data sheet is a very good habit. Like in ADXL. Data sheet. Okay, so minus 2C.
Sirish, like you can take membership of Sandbox, and like there all these things are basic things are present, and there is a line follow workshop every year by ARC. They usually give all these equipments. This one ADXL was given to me, I believe, in the IEEE hand gesture workshop. So yeah, like we need to, like, everyone cannot access or have that sandbox thing, huh? So usually we buy in that workshop only those materials are distributed.
Remember, this dataset is pretty large. So for getting a plus or minus 2G error, you have to divide it by 255. It's mentioned there. Can't see where it is right now. So it is predefined like by the maker only. Means who made it. He only set it up. Like, yeah, you can see here for plus or minus 2G, you have to set the D1 and D0 pins as 00. And where are the D0 and D0 pins? Yeah. So this D0 and D1 pins, you have to set it as 00, and rest all also we set it. And to measure it, you have to set the D3 pin for 1. If you want, if you're not using that accelerometer, you can set the D2 pin to sleep. Like you can set the D2 pin high, like giving 0 0 0 0 0 1 0 0, which is like 8, I think, I guess. Oh, sorry, 4. You can give a 4 into it, so this pin gets high, and divided by 255. I don't know where is it, but you can check out in the data sheet. Really. Okay, I think it's over here. Yeah, you can see it, 255 over here. This is for plus or minus 2G error. You have to divide it by 255. That's it. And I'll show you a demo how it works. And so yeah, this is the code for that. And okay, before showing, okay, I'll show the demo right now. Yes, yep, yes. Can you guys see this? So I embedded everything into this. Like, see, this one over here is the ADXL 345 over here. Can you guys see it?
Yeah, we can say.
Yeah, okay. So I will show you how it is going to read. Well, I'll explain the code one by one. So yeah. So after getting this, okay, after getting the X out from this, you basically have some error that you can see. Like I'll show the serial monitor. Keep the print. Sorry, I have to upload this. Okay, sorry, I have to upload this first. Oh, shit. So I'm using, this is a Nano over here, Arduino Nano. Can you see it, guys? It is so small. Okay, so I have to set it to Arduino Nano before getting in the code. Okay. Now the processor I'm using old boot. Okay. Now I'll try to upload it. Okay. You get this error every time, but okay, now it's done uploading. Okay. So you can see in the serial monitor. Yeah. Oh, it's so fast. Let us see. I'll put a delay over here. Delay. Yeah, it's done. Now I'll show the in the serial monitor. Okay. Yeah, you can see there is some error. Like, see the Z axis, you can see that like 0.88, 0.8. So I'm keeping it straight like this. So it should, the Z value should show like 1, and the rest all should show 0, because I'm keeping like this. If I tilt it towards forward, then the X should go to 1. So you can see that X is going to 1, but there is some error. So to rectify this error, we have to calibrate it. Like, yeah, in the setup, void setup, you have to calibrate it. Like for calibrating the x-axis, you have to you have to set the 0 into 2D resistor as high. For x, you have to set the 0x1e resistor high, and for uh, y-axis, for x, no, okay, for x it is 0 into 2D, and for y-axis it is 0 into 1e, and for z-axis is 0 in x1f. So how do you write this? Means you have to put a number over here. I'll show you the calculations how it's done. So yeah, I will take this part out. So I'm not dividing it by 255, 256. Okay, I'll calibrate with Z. I'll show you how to calibrate with Z only. We'll remove this. And now I'll see. Okay, now I'll go to the serial monitor. See, the value is 205 or 204 like that. So I'll show you the calculations how it's done. So you can see the Z value is 204, right? Okay. Now I'll show how the calculation is done. So you can see the ZA value is like 204. So you have to calibrate it to 255. So what you do is you subtract it with 255. So how much you get? 255, 51. So you get a 51. So you get 51 as an error, and you have to multiply it by minus 1 divided by 4. So 51 divided by 4, 12.75. So minus 12.7. Okay, this is minus 51, sorry. Minus 51, 204 minus 255, minus 51 into minus 1 by 4. So you get 12.75. So for this is for Z, right? Okay. Here you have to write as 12.75. Well, you have to take an integer value over here. So merely I'm taking it as 12. Now see, now the output should come as 1 when I keep it horizontal. Oh, it's not horizontal. See, it's exactly one. Like I have to keep it straight. What happened? So it's nearly 1 over here. I'll also show you the 3D visualization in this processing one. So you can have a 3D visualization of this. See. Okay. I think I have to take this delay. Because of this delay, it's slow. No.
For the calibration, you are changing the X and Y Z offsets, right?
Yeah. You can see the process. Yeah, no, it's good. So this is a 3D visualization. You can do it like this. That's it about the accelerometer. If you have any doubts regarding this, you can PM me anytime. In
Can any
personal,
one of you like give a brief summary of who understood properly?
yeah. Can
Previously,
anyone?
how I have doubt.
Okay, okay.
Previously, it was giving 241, right? No, 201, 204.
Yeah, yeah,
How it was coming?
yeah. I said it right because there are internal resistors. Like I'll show you in the. I'll draw it and show you.
It was coming from. It was giving the values from the.
Yeah. Wait a second. See, it was giving values from the SDA pin of the. You can see an SDA and SCL pins, right?
Yeah.
So SCL pin is given a clock from the Arduino, and SDA pin gives the data into the Arduino. You will read the data from the Arduino itself. Okay. And how the values are coming is you have internal resistance, like you have small springs inside that, so that if you tilt it, the springs get compressed and you get the values. Okay.
Yeah.
So and while calibrating, you have to calibrate each and every time you are uploading the code, because the registers will change. It means the spring constant changes every time when you're using it. So you have to calibrate it each and every time.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Got it.
Yeah. Now I'll go into the RF. This is an easy one only. Nothing much. RF transmitter. So for radio communication, you'll use the RF transmitter and receiver. So this is, you have a clock like crystal oscillator in both of them. Okay. Wait a second. Yeah.
Nobody came forward for that, explaining it once again. You guys understood or not?
See, you can PM
I
if
have
you
a
don't
doubt.
understand.
Kota, Shashidhar, can you elaborate on what
No,
he
he has
did?
a doubt.
No, I
he
have
has
a doubt first. Yeah.
okay.
So, what are the raw values that an accelerometer gives out?
Okay, raw values. What else? Wait. Wait, look. Okay, so this is the raw value that is given, or like it gives a 2's complement of a number. Like you means you don't know about that right now. You will be taught it in second year itself. So I don't want to go into that one. In second year, digital designing, they will start for you. So in that you'll know about the 2's complement and all that stuff. Okay. So don't worry about that raw value and all. If I explain to it, you will get confused right now.
Okay, okay, done.
If you still want to know about it, you can PM me. Okay, I'll say about it.
Okay.
Okay. So yeah, can anyone explain right now about the accelerometer? Anyone understood about it? Till then, I'm going to see, writing the code is easy only, but just understanding is tough, right?
Rohan, speak. Rohit.
Uh, the SDA, the accelerometer gives the value, raw values in 2S. It converts into what serial monitor was giving, like Z204. We need to, for calibration, we need to change the offset such that everything would be in 0 to 1. Like X and Y would be between 0 to 1. If we tilt X direction forward, it should be 1, otherwise 0 when it's in horizontal. Same for Y, and Z, it should be at 1, right?
Okay. What is pitch and what was the role thing? X, Y, Z, what was?
Which is like forward tilting,
Yeah.
Okay.
and
So,
roll is right side or left side tilting.
so which value will be X, which value will be Y?
It depends. The board has XY value, XY direction in it, right, in the image.
I forgot to mention that about saying about the pitch, what is pitch and what is roll. So you can see you can see my camera and my screen both at one time. So see, if I tilt it like this is known as pitch. You can see the pitch is varying. And if you tilt it like this, then it's a roll. You can use this like in building the drone. Like, so if it pitches too much, then you can increase the velocity of these two fans, then it'll come into the horizontal position. So you can use this to make a drones and many applications. Okay, that's it about this. And if you further have any doubts, please feel free to PM me. I'll clarify them themselves because it's
She's
better.
asking pitch is Y, roll is Z, yaw is X. Is she right?
Huh? Yeah, you can see that pitches like on the accelerometer itself. You can see that. No, I'll show the picture. See, so you can see an X over here. So if you tilt forward on the in the X direction, like keeping the Y as an axis, and if you pitch it forward like X is going down, then that is pitch. And if you tilt towards your y axis, like keeping X as an axis, if you tilt it towards the Y, then it's a roll. Okay. Okay. Yaw means how much you rotate. Like you can't calculate the means. I have not written about the raw over here. Yaw means how much you rotate. Like how much angle you rotate your drone. Okay. Anything else? Anything else, guys? I have to show another demo. Also, it takes so much time right now.
Move forward. Okay.
Yeah, okay. I'll go into the RF transmitter and receiver. Where is that? Yeah. See, this is also an easy code only. So you are using including the library rh.h and include SPI. And this is a function like from the class and functions you learn it later. From a particular class in this library, you are defining this object. So this object and from the object you are defining a variable over here. Don't worry about the object classes and variables. You'll get to learn in the C++, Java, those stuff, and Python also. So yeah, after defining object, you are specifying the object init class. Okay, init way like dot init, then serial dot begin as usual. Then I'm creating a character message. This is the name, and I'm writing the message hello world like that. So rf driver dot this is a function in that particular class dot send. So this is an object dot and this is the function in that class. So we are sending an 8-bit message, and we are also sending the string length. How much is the string length over here? So you can see the string length is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 11. Yeah, the string length is 11. So you are sending the string length and the whole message over here. And if you want to see how it works, you can go into this library and you can see how the classes, and if you know about classes, then you can go into this and check it out. And yeah, you are sending the data, then you are waiting for some time. After it is success, then you'll send a true boolean value, then it will print message transmitted, then delay 1 second. That's it. And yeah, this is for the receiver. Oh, forgot to mention, this is for the transmitter and this is for the receiver. So you can see yeah, this is the transmitter and this is the receiver. You have 4 pins over here. One is ground, one is VCC, one is data, and one is antenna. And here you have 8 pins. The 8 pins are, these both are data pins. This is ground, VCC, VCC, ground, ground, antenna. You have to connect all the grounds to the ground, and these both VCCs to the 5 volts. And you can take any of the data pins to take in the data, to take out the data into the Arduino. And antenna, you can connect like antenna, you can connect, you have to connect like 67 centimeters. We can calculate the antenna length like from the how much frequency it is generated. Like this generates a 433 megahertz frequency. Like see, this is the carrier signal from the transmitter. If you give the data pin high, then the this clock will produce a 433 megahertz signal, carrier signal, and this is the data. These both are merged together to get the output signal, and this is getting transmitted, and this receiver will take it into it, and it will demodulate it, and it will convert it into data, and it will send into the Arduino. So don't worry about this one, just for your information I'm saying. So why do we need a carrier signal? Like this data, like it is of low amplitude. With the help of carrier signal, you can get it to larger distances. You can transmit it to larger distances. So that's it. Okay, then yeah, go coming to the receiver one. This is, yeah, we are including all these libraries. Then we are setting this object. We are initializing the object. Then we are beginning the serial monitor. Then yeah, this is then buff, and we have specified 11 because the string length of this message that is been transmitted is 11. So we have to specify the string length over here. Then buff length is equal to size of buff. That's it. Buff is just a variable. Then if this receives a boolean value and stores the value into buff, and like what the message that is come has been received, it will be stored in this buff. Then we are printing this. That's it. I'll show the demo of it. Did you guys understand anything?
It is receiving hello world, or it is receiving the size of hello world?
Wait, I'll say. See, it is receiving both the hello world, and we see you are sending both the message and the string length, right? So you are receiving what is the string length as well as the hello world thing also. So if the string length matches this 11, then it will take into buff over here in the receive function. It will take in the value. Okay.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, now I'll show you the demo. See, I have included both in one program only. This is the accelerometer program. So what I done is, if I tilt the accelerometer towards the front, then it should send the data like forward. If like down, if I tilt the accelerometer towards uh, up, then it should send the data U. I'll show you this. See, what I did is, if the pitch is less than -20, then I'm sending the data down. Then if the pitch one should be there. Yeah, if the pitch is greater than 20, then I'm sending the data up. If the roll is greater than 20, I'm sending the data up. So I have merged both the programs. You can what you can do is, you can take this program and you can design an RC car. Like if you tilt your hand towards your front, you can move the car to forward, and if you tilt it back, you can move the car backward. So you can do that project by yourself. I'll send the code later. And okay, now I'll show this demo right now. Okay. Where I'll on the camera itself. Loading, done, loading. Okay. Yeah, I uploaded the receiver. Like this is a transmitter. You can see here. The transmitter code I uploaded in this Arduino Nano right over here. Then the receiver code I'm going to upload in this thing. Wait a second. This is another project I'll show you afterwards. And you can see there is a receiver over here, this part, and this is the UNO over here. Okay, now I'm getting this code into this one. What is this? Yeah, this is the receiver code. First, I have to set it to Arduino Uno. Where is it? Then port. Okay. Done uploading. Okay, now I'm powering this one. Oh shit. This one. I soldered this. This one is broken. Okay. No, it's fine. So you can see this one. Okay, I'm keeping it straight horizontal right now. I'll open the serial monitor. Okay. Now it's printing nothing. When I tilt towards front, see it is printing D. Now I'm tilting towards back. Now see it's up right now. Now I'm tilting. See it's right. It's showing right. Now I'll tilt like this. See it's showing left. Can you see it?
Yeah, we can see.
Yeah. So you can transmit the data like this. You can build an RC card using this. That's it. Okay. So that is about RF transmitter and receiver. If you have any doubts, ask now.
Like first it checks whether the size is correct. If size is correct, then it receives the message. If
Yeah,
it receives the message, then it's transmits the message that message received, right?
yeah. See, I'm sending an 1 bit data means of size 1, right? UL, those are all of size 1. So I'm keeping a 1 over here so that it checks first if the size is 1 or not. If it's okay, then it will take the data, then it will print. That's it.
Okay.
Okay. And you can make changes in the receiver part. If the buff of 0 is like U, then you can do these instructions. If it is L, then do these set of instructions. You can keep some conditions on that. That's it. Should I go to the next one, or do you guys have any doubts on this?
Or should we close for the day?
Okay, if you guys are bored, then I'll close. I'll stop it right now.
No, they are not bored. Might be too much of information at one go. That might be the thing.
Okay, okay,
Yes.
okay.
So do one thing. Servo and stepper करेगा ना तू next?
Servo stepper and
तो उसके बाद क्या है?
motor driver shields है.
Do the servo wala thing, then they can,
Okay.
if they want, they can do the radar wala thing on their own. And
Okay, I'll say the servo. I'll say the stepper later. I'll say about servo. I'll show a small demo and I'll close it.
that is good. And motor driver also. See, motor driver is usually used to control the motors. You cannot directly give 5 volt to motors. That's the basic concept. Look at it afterwards. We'll
What
do
it says
the
about L293 from the Tinkercad itself. I have the simulation.
L293
with that.
3D and L29 218. L29A10 है ना, these two are, you can go and search on there on your own. We'll close with stepper motor and a bit of motor driver है ना, ठीक है मोहित, go on.
Okay, okay. So I'll go with stepper motor right now. Yeah, this stepper motor also, it's easy to use. Like you have all the libraries to use it, like include servo.h. Without using libraries, you can also like control it. Like see, this yellow wire is a data wire. This red wire is a bean. Like you have to provide 5 volts to this, and this brown one is the ground wire. So you can send a PWM signal to the yellow wire like this. See, if you send a PWM signal like you are putting it 1 millisecond high and 20 milliseconds low, then the servo motor will go to the 0 degree position. Yeah, and if you increase the width, it will also increase the angle 90. Like for 0.5 milliseconds goes to 90. For 2 milliseconds it goes to 180. So yeah, using the so without using the library, it's pretty hard to get correctly get the angle. So you have libraries for this. You can include servo.h library, and this is a servo. Like you have to give a name to it, like my servo. Then my servo.attach pin 1, and pin 1 is a 9 digital pin. Then you can directly write my servo.write 90. Okay, which sets to 90 degrees angle. That's it. It's very easy, like just to by using the library over here. So do you guys have any doubts on this? If you don't have, I'll directly go to the demo.
In the image at the bottom, those are duty cycle, right?
Wait, are you talking about PWM signal?
At the bottom image that you gave us 0, 90, 180.
Where this one?
No, right side bottom.
Right side bottom. This one.
Yeah.
Yeah, you are setting the pin 2 milliseconds high and 20 milliseconds low, right? Means sorry, 20 minus 2 milliseconds low in a cycle.
Okay.
Okay, and getting into servo motors mechanics, like how it gets into 90 degrees angle exactly, like you have an internal potentiometer in this. So while rotating, while the servo motor rotates, the potentiometer also rotates and give the data to the inbuilt IC into this. Then the IC will directly calculate at which angle it is. And if you mention 90, then it will go exactly into 90 degrees. Okay, that's it. And why do we use servo motors? Means for precision and for getting the exact point. I'll show you demos so you'll understand why you are using a servo motor. Take a 5 minutes break. I will set up the demo over here. Okay, just go out and like have a snacks or something. I have to set this up. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes,
Yes,
yes.
yes.
Hello guys. Okay, I'm back right now. Are you guys there?
Yes.
Are everyone back?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
I will join the meet from my phone because it's hard to show the demo from the laptop. And I'll go out of this meet. Wait a second.
Servo motor, servo motor, right? Servo and stepper. You can basically like, do a research on this. Very small research. Servo motors you can see like you can use in robotic hand, है ना? And you saw the radar also thing. So for very precise angles you can turn using that. Stepper motors you basically use in your 3D printer and all. So like they are also very precise. Like they calculate using each turn you can calculate how much we want it to be or where we want after some time. So both are precise and both use motor drivers also. Uh, Different servo stepper motor drivers. But what are you doing with it?
Uh, so can you see my screen now? Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
So what I'm doing is in the Arduino programming only, I'm using it Pi Firmata. Like you can use this. You will get this at in the files and in the examples you will get this. Like you can see here, yeah, Firmata, and you can go for the uh, sample and standard Firmata. Then you'll get this whole code. What does it does is it will communicate with the Python language. Like you can run the Python language in some other PyCharm programming, and you can from using Firmata you can take in the digital pins and analog pins. You can access those in the Python program itself, and you can run the program in Python itself. So okay, I'll show the. Okay, right now. Okay, I'm using my mouse to move the robot over there. Now, whenever it sees a face like this, something like that, see, you can see that it's tracking it. And when I move it, it follows the face itself. So I'm not moving the robot is moving itself using the servo motors. So using the servo motors, what it does is we can get a precise like location, like where to move, how much angle should I move. So you can see I'm moving the photo and it is following it. And I added another cool feature in this. So like it can shoot things up. I have to be very careful on this. Okay, and if I click the right click, it should shoot. Yeah, it shooted, and you can't see it's shooting. Okay, so when I'm okay, I'll put the video. You can follow my Instagram. You can see that video over there. My Instagram ID is Armula Mohit Krishna. You can see that over there. I'll show you the video. It's better.
But show it here na with that background music also.
Oh, okay. I'm showing it. Wait. I'll open my Insta and I'll show.
Mm-hmm.
Background music नहीं Insta में. Yeah, this is the first one I done. You can see it following a wait. I'll show you. See, this is the face, and you can see it following it. Wait, I have to see. You can see that it is following the face. Okay, and Python programming, it's done using OpenCV. You can learn it in YouTube itself. It's pretty easy only, not too much hard. So the next one is I added an Y axis also into this. So you can see it follows the target wherever it goes. See, and I added this shooting thing into this. So the target is there. And when I'm getting it into the target using my mouse. See, it locked the target and it will follow wherever it goes. And using my mouse, if I click the right button, then it should shoot. It goes. Yeah, it shooted the bullet. So you can see how precise it is. So you can do cool projects like I have many ideas regarding projects. You can PM me if you want to do any projects. Okay, that's it for now. I'll continue the session later. Like if you have any doubts, just PM me. Okay. Thanks.
Basically, the part in which he used the Python, that is called OpenCV. Next Sunday, next Saturday, you guys will be having the workshop that will be open for your friends also. है ना? Any more doubts? I'll close the session, है ना? Then we can have an interactive one on our own, है ना? Stop recording.